What's up, guys? Texas Toy Addict here with another look at some of the figures we got this week. Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys Super Friends Wave 2 set from, DC Multiverse. Alright, so here's the deal. Initially, I was supposed to order Wave 1, and I only got, I believe I found the Riddler. So I found them at Target. I grabbed them. I didn't grab the other ones because I thought to myself, well, they weren't selling much. And I said, I'll just wait. I'm not going to grab them just yet. Not all of them, because GameStop had them in stock forever. And I thought, I'll just wait. I'll get, I got other figures. I got other things that, I had to pay for. So I was like, I'll just get it later, And now... they're all sold out. So except for hopefully Pop Culture doesn't sell out. So I need to still get Wave 1, which I'm working on. The funny thing about it is I ordered Batman from Walmart, along with some of the figures that I got this week. And they sent me the red Batman, the evil Batman, I guess. And I was like, what? And I wasn't really going to collect that one. So I was like, the same thing with this one. There's a red Superman that I'm like, man, I don't really need it. But now that I got the red Batman, I'm going to go and get the red Superman just to, keep. But anyway, so, don't worry. I'll get Wave 1 eventually, and I'll get that up soon, hopefully in the next month or so, or a few weeks or whatever. I'll grab that wave. But let's look. And there's a main reason why I grabbed this, because first and foremost, Super Friends was a cool cartoon. And I remember watching it, I think they had it on syndication, and it was after school. This show is really old. It's in the 70s. Of course, I was born the late 70s. So then, I'm saying my age here, aren't I? Real late 70s. But I was able to, when I remember when I was a kid, I was coming from school. I think I was in elementary, and I remember coming home and watching the show because I loved it. And I just, so I had to get it, especially for this girl right here. She looks phenomenal. So let's look at each one real quick. And then, of course, we'll pull them out and then get my, final thoughts and everything. But let's look at, I guess, the least one I like, even though I like all of them. Let's look at Flash first. As you can see, all of them come in this standard packaging. It says Super Friends. Nothing more on that. And you got the figure inside. And I think there's a trading card and a tiny little, what do you call it? I guess that's a walkie-talkie or something. So, yeah. And then on the back, you have the portrait of all the Super Friends. But I really have a feeling we're not going to get all of them. Especially that I don't remember all these in the cartoon. I remember Green Lantern. I remember Hawk. I remember Robin, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Arrow, I believe. I don't remember any of the rest of these characters being on the show, but I don't think they're all going to come out. So I know in the next wave we're getting Aquaman. God, I can't even think of the other ones. But hopefully we get this with this release. I hope we get it finished because this is something I really like. But yeah, like I said, like there's just... And this is based off the Retro 66 figures, which I nearly got. But I kind of passed on them. So these do have limited articulation, but the cool thing is they look really cool. I love the face portraits. I mean, it's not... the best figures out there, but it's really cool. So let's look next up. Let's look at Toyman. And I mean, that face sculpt is so cool. I really like that face sculpt. And he comes with a little doll, and he does another, I guess, a detonator right there. So it's really neat. And then we got Captain Cold, who also looks really cool. Like I said, those face sculpts are really neat. And he has his little gun, his I guess his ice gun, and then another detonator thing there. Then we got I have a Superman, which I really like the way he looks. He looks really cool. Of course, I have many Superman, but this one looks really cool. I like the face sculpt, and then he comes with that kryptonite ball thing, and then another, I guess, another walkie-talkie, and he does have a soft goods cape. And of course, finally, my favorite out of the whole group is Cheetah. And this is the reason why I got her, because they sold out of this everywhere. They sold out of it everywhere except for GameStop. And I said, you know what? Let me get her. Go ahead and not wait. Let me grab it because I didn't want to miss out on these. So this one looks so spectacular. She also comes, I guess, a detonator or something. The only sad thing about this is the packaging is kind of messed up, but I'm not really mad because I'm not going to keep them in box. But, you know, really, really neat. And the thing is I'm also disappointed with is just the fact that I wish the Legion of Doom had their own backgrounds. That would have been pretty cool, the villains. But I guess they just wanted to save money and not really go too far with that. So yeah. All right. So let's get these guys out of the packaging and get a closer look at the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Super Friends Wave 2 figures. All right, let's go ahead and start with Flash. Kind of like my least favorite one of the bunch. I mean, they're all pretty fun and everything, but this one was not my particular favorite one. And I think it's because of the way the body looks is the reason why I'm not really feeling this one a lot compared to the other one. So let's get a closer look. Now that face sculpt looks really nice though. I have to admit, I like the touch of the ears as Flash. So as you can see, it's in that nice red color with those yellows and everything. But I think what bothers me is this bottom half. I just don't like that. I think it looks real. Oh God, look at the behind. That looks really bad. So, like I said, these are based off the Batman 66 figures, which I never got, the retro versions. So, you know, unfortunately, I never knew about this. So this does look pretty bad. This should have been like that. I know that's how they articulate, you know, but that just looks weird. Yeah, that looks really bad. So, yeah, and even the front part, that just look at those, you know, those indentions right there. That just looks weird. Like, I'm sorry, this does look very weird. But I know this is just basically a retro. It's not exactly, you know, the best articulation. I know they were just trying to go with something easy and quick. So, you know. But the articulation is very minimum. You barely move the head, and then you only got one. You just got a one rocker there. You can't twist it. Legs just go up and down. So I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Oh, and you got the knees, so maybe 6 or 7. Well, the knees do move, which is cool. You know, so you can have him running and squinting. Oh yeah, and then you got some movement in the arms too, so that's almost there. I just think, you know, a kind of a swivel would have been nice, and maybe the swivel of the boots are actually ankle rotation maybe, or you know, ankle joint or something. But yeah, this part right here, that's pretty bad. So I'm sure that's what's going to be on most of the characters. But yeah, you know, but still, you know. All right, so Flash only comes with one accessory, and that I guess is the walkie-talkie for the Justice League. So that's going to be easily lost. I already know it. And he does come with this cool, and I really like this. And of course, you know, McFarlane is known for the cards that they come with. So he does come with the trading card, which is really nice. I can't get out of the plastic. Well, that stinks. I didn't want to tear the plastic. I wanted to save it, but oh yeah, does it come out of the plastic? What is going on here? Oh boy. I didn't want to mess up this card. Oh yeah, I'm messing it up. Oh Jesus. Okay. I dented it a little bit, but you got this cool little card, you know. And then on the back it just says Wave 2, Series 2, collect them all. So yeah. All right. Let's get out the next guy. All right, next up is Toyman. Now, this one is very interesting because I do have, and actually now that I realize, I have a lot of these in the DC Classics, and I do have a Toyman, but of course he's up, in the back, and I'm not gonna pull him out to do comparison times. But this one does look really cool. I really like the way the face sculpt looks on him. I mean, real classic Toyman on there. I remember the Toyman was, a funny character. But yeah, I mean, I love those yellows coming out. All those next colors. And here we go again. And then, oh my God, that's just funny to me. I mean, I know it's a figure, but this just looks weird. Like, I don't know. It just looks weird to me. It looks funny. And of course he has those, gaps in between the legs. So this is very funny. So I guess he does carry the same body as Flash, lower body. He looks like the boots are the same too. Of course, purple, same articulation. You got the knees going, and then you got the arms swivel up, head. Oh, the head doesn't turn at all. Oh, it does. Yeah, you just got to push it a little bit up and down. And of course, oh, look, it does swivel here. Did my Flash didn't do that? I didn't Flash swivel. Oh, Flash does swivel. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. So, yeah, so, but like I said, still pretty cool figure, still interesting. Like I said, this whole crotch part, like, I don't understand why they couldn't, make it look a little bit more fun. Now, the cool thing about the Toyman, he does come with a baby Superman, a little toy Superman, which is pretty cool. And I think there was an episode about that. I don't remember. I gotta look. But look how little that is. And then it does come with, I guess, another, I don't know if it's a walkie-talkie or a detonator or something. Not sure. But yeah, and then of course he comes also with a trading card, which is really cool. And it sucks because the plastic that's in the trading card, it's hard to get out. But, I'll put it in another bag. But yeah, I like that little card. So let's get the next guy out. All right, next up is Captain Cold. Now, Captain Cold was one of my favorite villains from the Super Friends show. I really liked him. I thought he was really cool. And I was actually really excited that we are getting a vintage version. If you recalled, I did a version or the modern version that came out a while back, which was one of my favorites. So it's really cool that we're getting a vintage one. It's too bad that it's not articulated like that, but he still looks really cool. As you can see, those whites and navy blues really pop. And then look at this face sculpt, that smirk and that icy chilly face with those goggles, and then his hood that he has on. That blue is really nice, and actually it kind of hides a little bit of this weird bottom part, but you still got those gaps. And then those boots. Wish there was a boot swivel, but there's not. So basically, like I said, just like Flash and Toyman, he doesn't have a lot of articulation. He does have some up and down like this, and this. So there are some, what do you call it, pockets there, which is kind of weird. I would think the pockets would go back here, but every time I see this weird butt, it's funny to me. All right, on the side here, he does have looks like a holster for a gun. He did have that originally. But unfortunately, it's just a prop. Like, you can't open it and pop in the laser gun or freeze gun, which is kind of dumb, I think. But like I said, I think they just did the minimum on these. So, but still cool looking figure. Let's see his accessories that it came with. So like I said, he does come with a definitely little gun, freeze gun, and then he does also come with another, I guess, walkie-talkie or bomb detonator. I don't know what this is, but to me it's kind of funny because it's like, if he comes with two accessories, Toyman also came with two accessories, the little Superman, and that also looks like a detonator or whatever it is. But as you can see, the left hand is a fist, so Where does the other one go? So this would have been very, very you know, useful to put the ray gun or the freeze gun in here, so that way he can hold the detonator. But of course, you know, I am not even gonna bother with the detonator. I'll just put that away, you know. But the gun does fit nicely on him. It looks really cool with him. That's really neat. And then also, he does also come with a trading card, and the plastic is not messed up, so I can put them all in there. So look how crazy he looks. Oh man, I remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch these again. But yeah, really, really cool. All right. So let's get the next guy up, and that is Superman. All right. So in Wave 1, the main guy, of course, was Batman. And the main guy in Wave 2 is Superman. And I actually have to admit, this one, out of the, so far, of the male figures, this one is probably one of the best ones. And I'm going to tell you that in a second why. But as you can see, he looks really cool. And I love the colors on him. I love that face sculpt. That just gives you that cartoon vibe. And then, of course, he comes with the soft goods cape with the Superman logo on the back. Oh, nice. Wow. And, of course, you know, we do have, again, this indentation there. But the crotch is not as huge as the other ones. Okay, that sounded very weird, right? But what I'm saying is, you know, as you can, let's look at, or as you can see, like, you know, what I mean is, it's not as weird looking, I guess, you know. Yeah, anyway, let's just move on. So yeah, got I love the colors on him. There's beautiful blues and reds, just pop really nice. And then, of course, you know, the back, which is, it doesn't look as weird. Like, they put like another piece over the back so it doesn't give you that weird. Why didn't they do that with the other ones? I don't understand. Well, this one doesn't look as bad. Let's look at Flash. Oh my God, we're looking at the butts of the superheroes. But as I can see, Superman kind of has almost a normal one. And of course, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to it being like that because you have the cape covering it. So anyway, I'm not a crotch person or a butt person with toys. I just find it funny how these were made. So, but it doesn't look as bad as Superman. Superman looks actually really cool. I really like this one, you know. So yeah, really neat figure. I'm really impressed with this one. All right, so just like Flash, he does come with the comm link for Justice League. Of course, that's just gonna go away. I'm not gonna use that. And then when he comes with a neat, I think this is a really cool accessory. He comes with the Kryptonite ball and chain, and actually it's a real chain. It's not plastic, and you know, I love that. Look at that. That's really cool. This is a really cool accessory, you know, and I know in one of the episodes, you know, they put that on him and he can't move and stuff like that. So what a nice touch. And of course, he does come with his card. I mean, that face sculpt is just perfect, dead on. All right, let's get the final figure out. All right, last but not least, we have the star of the whole wave. And this is the reason why it sold out. It's kind of crazy because when Wave 1 hit, I did reserve it, but I think I reserved it on Big Bad Toy Store. But I said, no, I'll wait, you know, I'll get them when I get them. And they basically were up for a while. Even the whole wave was available on GameStop, and I had put them in my cart. I was going to get them, but I got other figures instead. And then I was on wait, they'll still be available. And now, Wave 1 is completely gone. With the exception of Pop Culture and some other ones, I think I can still get like Lex Luthor. It's kind of funny, and I think I said this earlier, but I ordered Batman, and I got the evil Batman. So I was like, I ordered from Walmart, and I got the evil Batman. So now I'm like, okay, but I'm sure I can find them. I'm not tripping yet. But eventually I need to get them soon because I don't want to sell out. But anyway, back to this. I missed the time limit. Normally I get the time limit, but I missed the window, so I didn't get them on Amazon. They sold on Amazon. They sold out. Where else did they sell out? Basically everywhere else. Big Bad Toy Store sold out. Earth Entertainment sold out. But GameStop had them, and I said, you know what? Let me get them GameStop. And the crazy thing about it is, they came in and whatever. But anyway, she was one of the reasons why I think it sold out, because she looks spectacular. This is definitely the best figure in the line. And Todd, I mean, if you ever watch my videos, doubtedly. But anyway, if you ever hear this, the female figures sell. Like, this is the reason why. And I'm hoping to God that Wonder Woman looks great and we get Giganta. Please finish this whole Legion of Doom. We need all of them. We need Giganta. We need Solomon Grundy. We need, what's his name? Gorilla Grodd. We need everyone, including Giganta. Oh my God. And I don't know if you're going to make Giganta big or whatever. Of course, she comes in her regular size. But we'll see. I mean, I don't care. If you give me a regular size Giganta, I'm good. But anyway, back to Cheetah. She looks gorgeous. I mean, the colors on this is perfect. This just looks really great. I mean, and the face sculpt. Look at the face sculpt. Look at those eyes. And this is perfect. I mean, this is really, really good. Like, honestly, like, this might be another contender of figure of the year for the year. Definitely going to be on my top 10. Because look at how beautiful she looks. I mean, this is how you do female figures, Super 7. But look at that. And then those beautiful cheetah spots come out. The brown and everything against the yellow just looks so great. And I don't remember if the whole body had cheetah spots. But as you can see on the top, it's up here. And then, of course, you go down to the legs. And then the tail. Now, of course, the articulation is not as great. But, of course, this whole part here doesn't look as bad as the guys. I mean, there's a tiny little indentation, but it doesn't look bad at all. And, of course, the back part also doesn't look bad. I mean, it doesn't, it looks really great. Like, I mean, it looks nice. Like, they did this one great. So of course, she has articulation here, and this goes up like that. So that's really cool. There's a swivel in the hand too. I forgot to mention that, but there's swivel in the hand. So there's some articulation. And then of course the legs go up, and then you got the knee. But the only thing that I think they should have articulated was at least the tail, because the tail does not move at all. It doesn't turn. It doesn't go anywhere. This is kind of which I wish they would articulate, because, it would have been pretty cool to have her, not just the tail laying down whenever she's trying to attack, but, and of course, if there was articulation in the, at least the feet, that would have been pretty cool, because you could have got her in some really cool poses, but, but anyway, I mean, but other than that, I mean, she is spectacular. I really, really like this figure. Now again, oops, and I lost it. I just dropped the comm link, and I think it went into my clothes. Oh boy. Or the detonator, or whatever that damn thing. I lost it. See how easy it is. But anyway, she comes with another one of these, basically. But now I lost the other one. I think I got it. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, never mind. Here, let's get this one out. Yeah, I'm here in my bedroom, and I dropped it in my drawer. It just fell in there. And then of course here is the card. Looking really cool. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful figure. I mean, seriously, like, this one is probably, this is my favorite one of the whole wave, but also even wave 1, which I haven't even got yet. But I am loving this figure. Alright, so let's go ahead and get all 5 of these on my wonderful turntable to get my final thoughts on the Todd McFarlane or McFarlane Toys Super Friends Wave 2 set. Alright, here are my final thoughts on the McFarlane Toys Super Friends Wave 2 figures featuring Superman, The Flash, Toyman, Captain Cold, and of course the beautiful Cheetah. Now, this is, there's some cool things about this, but then there's some things that I'm not really feeling. Number one, I do love the nostalgia of it, and I like every single face sculpt on these figures. And actually, I mean, the representation of them from the cartoon is spot on. They did a really good job. The only thing for me, I really believe, especially for Captain Cold, the Flash, and Toyman, that whole lower body thing they did, or whatever they did to make it look. I mean, I know they were basically, you know, I guess, you know, just using the same buck from those older figures that they made. But I think something, you know, Superman though looks freaking awesome. I mean, it doesn't, you know, hinder too much. And of course, Cheetah, I guess, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think there was a Batgirl and a Catwoman too. So I don't know how those looked. I never had them, but those two look shine out of all the rest of them. I'm not saying I don't like the other ones. I'm just saying that they shine a little bit better. I am glad that I got this set. This set was really cool. I really enjoy this set. I'm looking forward to getting Wave 1 and getting that review for you guys. But that, like I said, I mean, I'm just hoping and praying that we get the rest of them. I hope they finish this one. I hope this is the exception that Mattel says, okay, well, let's just let them finish this, because, you know, in a sense, this should have been started a few years ago, so we could have got all of them. So it'd be a really bum if we don't finish them, especially, like I said, if we don't get Giganta or Solomon Grundy or, you know, Gorilla Grodd. Those are the ones that I really want. And of course, Gorilla Grodd and Solomon Grundy are gonna be pretty big guys, you know. And I don't know if they're gonna go ahead and make Giganta big or what. But I know that the Wave 3 have been announced, and they decided to use the Wonder Twins in that situation, which is cool. But, you know, let's not shy away from the Legion of Doom, please. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure if these are still available on GameStop, but they might be. Of course, Pop Culture still has them too. Not sure. I don't think you can find them on Amazon anymore, and I think Big Bad Toy Store, I think they have one of them left. I think Flash might be left, or Superman might be left. But, you know, they are really cool to pick up if you're a big fan of the show, like myself. But other than that, you know, you're gonna, I mean, if you're just, you know, thinking, oh, well, I just want these just because they're cool articulation, very minimum. And then another thing, too, is I'm really surprised that these didn't come with stands. Obviously, Cheetah's standing on her own with no problem. But the other fellas, I had to get the, you know, some of the stands from the older figures that I have, which makes me think I need to get more of these stands. You know, hopefully I can find, I don't know, did McFarlane sell those? Hopefully they did, so I can get some more, because these stands actually look really well with these, and they look really cool. But like I said, you know, I'm really surprised that we didn't get stands with these figures. They didn't come with a lot of accessories, they just came with a bare minimum. But that's okay, no worries on that. Alright, so what do you guys think of these? Do you guys have these in your collection? Do you think, you know, you want to collect them? What are the ones you're looking forward to? And, you know, considering that this is the end of the year, or end of the line, do you think we're going to get the other figures? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, we will see you later, and thank you so much for all your support. We are getting closer and closer to that 500. I keep telling us about every video, but slowly and so surely we'll get there with all your help. But thanks for everything, and until next time, we will see you later.
Ladies and gentlemen,
make sure you like, share, and subscribe.